Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Wildcat Insider, presented by UPS, our weekly look at Villanova athletics. I'm Nick Montaigne. It's great to have you with us. Today, we're joined by Jennifer Brophy, our Director of Academic Support for Athletics. Jen, a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to see you. How are you and your family handling the COVID-19 situation? What have been some of the ups and downs for you, your husband, and your kids?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. I have two young children, ages 3 and 4, and my
Okay.
husband works at a healthcare facility, so he's working kind of extra hours under pretty stressful circumstances. So our children are at the age where they know that something's going on and that there's a virus, but they don't quite understand. And so that's been hard. And we've tried to do our best to talk to them about it, really limit the news and things like that. But trying to work from home with two little ones has certainly been challenging. I've learned that I really need to be patient with myself and with my children, and be flexible. Um, I've talked to my staff and they know that I kind of work odd hours sometimes depending on the day. And so I might work early in the morning or late at night or on the weekends when my husband is around to kind of help with the kids. And that's been a little bit of an adjustment for me and for our staff and for our students. But our family's kind of trying to take the approach just to be grateful for everything,
Mhm.
and for the things that we do have, and make the most out of this time and try to enjoy it. Just this weekend, my daughter learned how to ride her bike, so that was like really exciting. Last week it was nice
Great.
one day, so for lunch we did a picnic lunch.
Oh,
We have a
neat.
lot of dance parties.
Yeah.
And so we just try to kind of make the most of it where we can. And we do a lot of Zoom calls with family and friends. My kids both have Zoom calls for their classes at daycare. And if you've never seen a Zoom call with a 3-year-old and all of his friends, it is one of the cutest things ever. So to all the working parents out there, it's hard. Just keep pushing and try to enjoy it. And, know that there's a lot of Zoom bombs happening by my children on a daily basis.
Yeah. You made it very clear. Patience is truly a virtue. I'm glad you said that. Jen, could you explain to us all how you and your staff are currently helping our student athletes during this pandemic, whether it be Zoom chats like this or texting or FaceTime or on the phone, and just some of the ways the kids are being able to get their work done and still you're able to help them on a daily basis?
Sure, yeah. Well, I just want to start by giving a huge shout out to my staff or our staff and academic support for athletics. They are all doing an amazing job and a wonderful, wonderful support that they're providing to our students. They're completely dedicated to supporting our students, and I'm really lucky to have such a talented group of advisors and colleagues that I get to work with every day. They are working overtime right now, day in and day out, to support our students, and even to all the other athletic advisors across the country who are working just so hard right now to support student athletes. When we moved online, our staff responded immediately and our services were up and running right away. Um, our meetings and our offices may look different, but we are committed to making sure that we support our students, and our support remains the same. Um, I think during these times of uncertainty, it's important that our students are able to lean on us. We've definitely are trying to meet the students where they're at. So you name the technology, we've been using it. Zoom, FaceTime, just regular phone calls, text, Microsoft Teams, Google Hangout, whatever works for the student, that's what we're doing. We're trying to continue to have our academic meetings online. We're adapting to kind of help our students in new and innovative ways. I think that, students have contacted us and said, I have my advisor wants to meet with me on Microsoft Teams. I don't know what that is or how to do that. And it's, okay, let's figure this out together. I'll jump on with you and we can test it out, and just kind of putting them a little bit at ease. It's interesting for the students, and for the faculty. It's been a huge adjustment and a huge challenge to kind of change the traditional course and move it online, and move
Mhm.
it online very quickly. And so for the students, they're navigating a lot of things at home, and as everyone in the world is, right? So they may be sharing internet with family members. They may be helping to take care of family members or siblings. They may have parents or family members that are healthcare workers or other essential workers. They may have sick loved ones or family members who are out of work. And so, on top of that, the students that lost their athletic season, we're not having an in-person graduation, there's no senior week. You just think about all these things these kids are facing, and then they also have to do their classes, right? And so, we really try to talk to the students and just ask how things are going and be there as a shoulder to lean on. Our staff really prides ourselves with, showing empathy and compassion, and you never know what a student's going through. And so how can we help you kind of navigate this current crisis? And so, the faculty are all doing things a little differently, and that's challenging for the students, trying to figure out which classes are using Zoom, which are, maybe just doing PowerPoints, which ones have online tests, which ones have papers, and all the deadlines have been moved around and the syllabi have changed. And so just really helping them try to stay organized and stick to a schedule as much as they can, and continue to set aside time to study and to kind of keep a routine. That's something that can be really helpful. And so, it's amazing the work that our staff is doing. I really can't speak enough about all the hours we're putting in. If you think about our 600 student athletes at Villanova, they are worldwide, right? We have students all over the globe. And so time zones are different. Normally, you might meet with a student early in the morning. We may not be able to do that anymore, right? We have to push that back based on where they are in the country or in the world. And so trying to be flexible and meet students where they're at really is kind of our approach. Take things day by day and encourage our students to take things day by day. And I really am just so proud of our student athletes. They are incredible. They're resilient. They're working so hard and keeping such positive attitudes through all of this. And that really inspires me, to be honest, and our staff. And it's just really amazing to see.
What are the relationships like, Jen, between you and the faculty at Villanova? How are those relationships built, and how to maintain them, to work with the student athletes, to convey that message that the academics and athletics are a big part for these kids, and how to complement both on a daily basis?
Yeah. Honestly, I really can't say enough about our faculty and staff at Villanova. They are just absolutely fantastic. And it's one of the main reasons really why I love working at Villanova so much, especially in the role that I'm in.
Yeah.
Our faculty are fantastic. They push our students to be their best and to learn and develop while they're in college. But also at the same time, they're caring and supportive. And they really understand and genuinely care about the students and what their goals are. We check in with faculty regularly, so whether that's through email or I do go to a lot of meetings and present to faculty to kind of explain what our office does and some of the challenges that our student athletes face and what a typical day in the life of a student athlete is. And we always get wonderful feedback. We do have some really high achieving student athletes, and some of our faculty have said that they've been some of the best students that they've ever worked with. Our faculty also know that our office is a resource not only for the student athletes, but also for the faculty. And so that's something that we really try to help them with. We assist the students and the faculty with how to navigate the travel schedule when students are missing class, exam proctoring when needed, and then connecting students with resources. When students are missing class for travel or competition, we really encourage them to attend faculty office hours. All of our faculty have office hours, and that's a great way for the student to make up, what they missed in class, but also connect with the faculty. And many of our faculty are willing to have additional office hours outside of their normal office hours to accommodate our student athletes' schedules, which is something that's just, they don't need to do that. And they really try to do their best to really provide support for any student at Villanova, but definitely our student athletes. And the best is definitely seeing our faculty come out to games and events and support our student athletes. And you can really see that they care about them, and they want to, support them, even if they aren't, normally attending a water polo match or, something like that. And they bring their families. And so it's just a really great environment.
Yeah. Jen, I've always been curious about how academic support staff can steer a student athlete in a certain direction. If, let's say, it's a younger a freshman or sophomore and they're still deciding on a certain major, and how much you help steer that person in a certain direction, help them pick a major, decide if they're a little bit uncertain about where to head for their academic future.
Yeah, we definitely help students with kind of deciding on a major. I think that some students come in and they know exactly what they want to do,
Right.
but more commonly, students come in and they are either unsure of what they want to do or they think they want to do something and then they
Yeah.
end up changing their minds. I think about research says about 1/3 of students change their major at some point, at least once during their college career. So it's pretty common. And college is a huge time of growth so for students. So it makes sense that, as they're getting exposed to more things and developing as people, that maybe they are going to change what their goals are.
Yeah.
We really encourage students to explore courses at Villanova and take things that maybe are a little bit outside of the norm or that sound interesting, as a way to maybe spark something, maybe spark a passion in them. And once that happens, once the student has an interest and a passion, that's when you really see them excited and successful. And so we also really utilize our Villanova Career Center on campus. We collaborate with them, and they
Mhm.
have some really great staff over there. They're a great resource for our students. They have different assessments that students can take to kind of help them determine what might be a good major or career path for them based on their interests. They also have career counselors over there that will meet with students and kind of talk them through things. And the other thing we do is we encourage students to not only talk to us, but talk to their academic advisors and their faculty and staff on campus, people, their coaches, people that are involved in their lives. What was your path? How did you get where you are today? What do you like about your job? And kind of ask those questions to see if that's something that they might be interested in. It's definitely always exciting when a student takes a class and they come into our office and you can tell it really was exciting for them, or something in the class really sparked their interest, and they come in and they're all excited and you can see the passion kind of coming out, and that's a point where we can say, hey, wait, you seem like this is really something you're interested in. Let's talk about this some more.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Two of our excellent programs at Villanova are nursing and engineering, and I've heard through the years from our coaches about how not just missing time when they're on the road, but missing practice on a daily basis because of the busy demands of engineering, and let's say when they're on rotation with nursing. So how do you aid in helping out the student athletes just on a Tuesday or Wednesday when they have to miss a practice that's leading up to a big game during a week?
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the biggest challenges our students and our coaches face. And so engineering and nursing are two of the more demanding majors that we have. They also are very regimented. So there's certain classes you take
Yeah.
certain semesters and everything kind of builds on each other. There's not as much flexibility as some of our
Okay.
other majors. And so one of the things we do is we work really closely with those colleges and we partner with them to make sure that our student athletes are successful. And the faculty and staff in both of those colleges are wonderful, and they want our student athletes because they do lend to doing well in those types of careers.
Right.
And they want to make it work. And so we collaborate with them. We try to get creative. So, a traditional student may follow a certain path, and we work to see, is there any flexibility with these classes, and can
Mhm.
our students maybe take them at a different semester or over the summer if they're able to do that. And so we do try to do things like that. There, on occasion, we're able to find maybe an alternate course or an independent study or a research or something like that that a student can do to supplement a course. But there are definitely classes that just, there's no way around it, right? They have to take it in the
Yeah.
fall semester and it conflicts with their practice, or the spring semester and it conflicts with their practice. And so that is something that we try to plan in advance and make sure the coaches are aware and help the student have the conversation with their coach. And then really then it becomes a team effort, right? How can they make up that missed practice? How can they still help their team? Or
Mhm.
can they do an individual workout? Can they get with the strength staff and plan a time to come into the weight room early in the morning or late at night? Can they watch film at a different time? What can they do to still show that they're contributing to the team and that they are able to be a part of things, but maybe they're not going to be at practice that day? And a lot of the student athletes have an off day during the week. And so we do try to schedule any labs or things like that during that off day if possible. Not always possible, but that's kind of one of our goals too, is to try and make sure, again, we're mapping things out to try and assist as much as possible.
Sure. I've always been curious, from something outside the box, what somebody like yourself, Jen, might do, and your staff in academic support, that where you help the student athletes on a daily or weekly basis that's outside of academia, and something that somebody watching might not realize, whether it's what to eat or a restaurant to recommend or a book to read. Is there something that's out there that we might not realize in a way that you help our kids?
I think there's probably a lot of things. My husband sometimes refers to me as Alexa. He's like, just ask Jen, she'll know the answer. um, and I think, our office really tries to let the students know we're here to support you and help you. And if you have a question and you need an answer, even if we don't know the answer, we're going to get you to the person that does. But, I would say a fashion consultant. There's been occasions where students have showed me outfits and asked if this is okay for an interview or a presentation, or they have a formal coming up and they want to show me their dress. Definitely, you mentioned the restaurants. I get asked that a lot. What's a good place to go with my family? Or is there somewhere I have a special occasion with my significant other? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah.
Tech support. We definitely get a lot of questions about apps on phones, or, somebody can't get their email working properly, or things like that. And I feel like we've learned to kind of answer a lot of those questions. And then certainly we refer to our tech services on campus, but I feel like sometimes I'm not. And then I guess one of my favorite things, I think, is kind of like a life coach. A lot of students probably view me as like their mom away from home or something like that. But I just love when students come into my office, sit down on the couch, and really just talk about life, something that's going on in the world or something they learned in class. And let's just have a great chat about, something that's important to them or something that's interesting to them. I just recently had a student, since we've been working remotely, he texted me and said, I really miss coming into your office and talking, and especially the Jolly Rancher candy that you have. But so that was really nice, because I miss that too. I miss that a lot. And I really miss, the personal face-to-face interactions with our students.
Yeah, it's great to see you've been connecting with everybody during these tough times. Jen, I learned a lot today, so thanks so much for taking the time to join us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That's Jenn Brophy, our Director of Athletic Academic Services at Villanova University. Thanks for joining us for the Wildcat Insider presented by UPS. I'm Nick Montagna, and we'll see you next time, everyone. So long.